to live.
Yes, live.
Live.
Welcome to the Ref Room.
Hockey talk for parents, players, coaches, and fans.
Text everyone you know. Facebook, chat, tweet, buzz, bling. I don't know. Just do what you have to do.
This is the Ref Room with Scott and Brad.
Come on, come on, come on. It's about to go down.
The Ref Room starts right now.
All right, what's up, everybody? It's Scott Smokin' Sills along with my man Brad Baumrock. We are the Ref Room. We do this every Wednesday. I hope you guys have your peanut butter and jelly sandwich ready so you can have lunch with us here today.
We got a lot. I hate peanut butter and jelly, Scott.
I don't need jelly. I'm a peanut butter guy if I got to have it. So, but we got a lot to talk about today. We've got some breaking news with the NHL. We've got. We wanted to talk today about officiating and the abuse of officials, and we're also going to cover what might be the absolute ultimate gift you could give to any hockey player or referee. So we've got a special feature we're going to do on that today, and lots of good stuff. So we're going to get right to it. Rumor has it the NHL has cleared a little bit of a hurdle, that they are looking to start their season on January 13th. And what is it, a 50-some game schedule? What are they looking at, Brad?
So what I've read so far is that the Players Union and the owners and the NHL are finally on the same page, which hasn't been seen in a while. That was actually quoted from one player saying it. It's looking good. They're looking for a financial framework in order to get possibly a 52 or 56 game schedule going January 13th, which is 2 days earlier than their intended January 15th, which they had before. I think the biggest thing comes down to the NBA announced that each team is going to get $30 million from the NBA as a stimulus due to the pandemic in order to help the teams out with financial burdens that they may have taken.
The NBA is going to get stimulus?
From the league.
Oh, from the league. Okay.
So the league slush fund is going to pay the teams $30 million in order to help them out, to rehire employees and stuff like that. And the NHL is looking to do that as well with the teams, because if you think about it, they've had a lot of employees that are out, maybe have found some new, places to work. So they may have to pay a little more money to get people to come back and get going. Yeah. So they're looking for stuff like that. And then also the players, they're going to probably defer some of their payroll for the year and, get some concession on the back end, which would be good for them. So I think it'll end up working out pretty well here. And, the good thing is if they're all talking, that means we actually have an opportunity to see some hockey. And then, the schedule now looks like they're going to possibly realign divisions. And, that's the schedule. And that's what they're really setting up the framework to talk about now. And it sounds like the money is going to be, easy peasy between the two of them, because the NHL Governors Board have to vote on what they got going on. So it sounds like a lot of progress has been made.
Well, that's good. I mean, we could certainly use some hockey. It's the time of year where we're definitely ready for hockey. And, they did a great job when they had the bubble and they played out of Winnipeg and Edmonton, my bad. Yeah, Edmonton and Toronto. It was nice. And even if they have to go back to a bubble situation, which I hope they don't have to, I'd like to see something. I'd like to see them playing. The big thing is they just don't have the money with the TV contract like the NBA and football have. I mean, but they need fans. In order for those owners to make money, they need to put butts in the seats. That's really what it comes down to.
I agree with you, Scott. And, it makes you think, really, there's been some teams in the East Coast League. Well, the ECHL, sorry, I'm used to it being the East Coast League, but the ECHL, they've decided to fold for the season just because it's not financially viable. And, luckily a lot of the AHL teams are affiliated with NHL teams, either by the team owns them or, luckily enough, they have a good contract with them where the NHL team will keep them going. But the American Hockey League, they don't have TV contracts. They don't have, some of them don't even have, their games on the radio. So, you have to actually physically go and see the game. So they survive off ticket money. So they want to start very shortly too. And
they need more than just ticket money. They need the concession money. They need the parking money. They need, merchandise sales, everything that goes with it. I mean, it's just not practical. Unfortunately, our sport just doesn't have that TV money that everybody else has.
No, I agree with you. And, we can give a little I know a little personal knowledge. I know somebody that used to run the parking for the Detroit Tigers. And on an average, every Detroit Tigers game when he did it, now it was already probably 15 years ago, almost 20, it was about $300,000 they made off of parking per game.
If we inflated that, because they were probably paying like $5 to park the car back then.
Right.
Now they're probably paying more like $50 to park the car. So it's probably $1 million a game in parking revenue.
Right.
That would be my guess. Of course, they have they get like 40,000 people probably on average for a baseball game. What do you think? I have no idea. I mean, if they're playing well, they might get 40,000, maybe more. I don't know how many people that stadium holds, but I think you get 40,000 in Wrigley Field, which isn't that big, right? It's about 40,000 people, I think, for a sellout game.
It's an average. It's an average size, but 38,000 people. If everybody buys one Coke at $5, do the math.
Oh, please! You can't get a Coke for $5.
Well, but you get what I'm saying.
More like $7 and $14 for a Bud Light or whatever it is. You know how it is.
Well, just remember, always give the server that's handing you your stuff the 50 cents. That's why it's always on the 50 cents.
Well, they want you to give more than 50 cents. They can't survive on 50 cents, Brad. Well, not at those prices. They can't even afford to buy a beer in their own ballpark. I got a question. So is the OHL playing? Where do they stand now? They were talking about no check hockey. What's happening with that?
You know what? I do not know. If somebody knows, possibly somebody watching, they can put it in the chat guys, there, but I don't know.
Appreciate if you would put that in there because, where are they having the World Juniors? That's getting ready to happen too. You know anybody know where the World Juniors are being played? That shows how much we follow some of these things until they actually hit the TV, and then we're all crazy for them. But if you'd put it in the comments for us, I'd appreciate it. I'm sure somebody's Googling now. Brad's probably Googling.
What do you think I'm doing? Come on.
I know exactly what you're doing. You are Mr. Google.
Hey,
well, that's something we got to look at because I'm just wondering, they can't. How are they traveling? First of all, World Juniors insinuates travel, right?
Edmonton.
So they're going to play in Edmonton. But
that's what it looks like, according to the.
Canada is no check for hockey. So are they going to let all these people come across the border from all over the world? I'm kind of curious because that's supposed to be happening, right?
Yeah, in 16 days, 49 minutes and 30 seconds right now. They got a countdown on there.
They get a countdown timer too. I love it. Till the puck drops, just like us.
No, you know what, Scott? I that totally slipped my mind about the World Juniors. I haven't even thought about it, but it's right around the corner. And
yeah, I know. I hit you with a surprise on that one, but that's okay. I was just testing you.
I would assume they have an exemption, kind of like professional sports has an exemption and college sports has an exemption, in order to play. I mean, big story is today there's a meeting with the Big Ten because the Ohio State, Michigan, they canceled their game over the weekend. So they haven't played
make it to the national championship because of that. They're, they got to get those games in.
Yeah. So they got to play 6 games in order to play in the championship of the Big Ten.
Yeah.
And right now they've only played 5. So it's a very interesting thing. So, but everybody's working in different ways, and I think they're going to get around it. I mean, as long as the players come in healthy, quarantine. I'm sure they're probably quarantining. As long as they get in and they're healthy, they can move on. I don't see any problems with that.
So we're almost at mid-December here. Tick tock, tick tock. I mean, are we going to have a season at all, Brad? What's happening?
As a local season?
Yeah.
I don't know. There hasn't been anything officially announced, and I haven't heard anything. So I'm going with no news is good news right now. Right. But I'm going to keep hoping that,
keep hope maybe alive.
January.
Keep hope
January. Alive. Well, the thing I was looking at, though, is our state finals would be, the first weekend of March. And, with Christmas thrown in, and Christmas is on a Friday this year, and New Year's is on a Friday. You might lose that one weekend in the middle. If we started today, you have about 13 weekends, 14 weekends in order to get into season. Could it be done? Yes, I think it could be.
Well, now,
are there enough referees to get it done?
This latest quote unquote lockdown that we're supposed to be having, wasn't that only supposed to be 3 weeks? what are we? Are we 2 weeks into that, or are we 3 weeks? I'm not even sure. But I thought we were only supposed to be, 3 weeks. To
the weeks are starting to blur together, Scott. I won't lie. I think it's been 2
You're not
weeks.
Kidding. Yeah, I think it's 2. I think we have one more lockdown week apparently.
Yep.
But
I don't know.
Could we get a season in? I mean, hypothetically, could we actually move everything back to May? Would USA Hockey be moving nationals back? Could we pull this off? Or because some states are open, are they going to nationals? How is that playing out in other states? Does anybody know? I mean, if you're online, put it in the comments if you know something. We'll even bring you on the show at some point. Let's talk about this because I'm just curious if other states have opened, if they're going to have the opportunity to go play for a national championship.
Well, Scott, the way that it's always done is the affiliate always has the oversight of their representatives that go to nationals. So
Okay.
Sometimes some teams could even, I've heard of some rare circumstances where the team has won the state championship and the affiliate does not allow them to pursue into the districts. And the reason is, they've had this happen or that happen, or, there was a violation of some sort of ethics along the way at the end of the season, but they were in playoffs and they finished. And, it's very rare, but it's up to the affiliate on how that works. And, the good thing is, like our affiliate, they would work their butts off if they could get some teams to go to nationals, because we got a lot of good hockey players here and a lot of good officials too. I think
great players. I don't know about good officials, but we got great players.
Well, we're lucky. We have a lot of hockey here, and it's important to everybody involved. So that's the thing. I don't foresee, because a national event takes so much planning, because they announce the dates, well in advance, and the organizations that put them on have to buy the ice and get the volunteers. And I mean, you're talking all this is done basically with volunteers in order to run a national event. And you'd have to reschedule all that. And I just don't foresee that being plausible. So I think
they still have all that merchandise from last year they need to try to sell.
Well,
I mean, think about that. We didn't get nationals done last year. This would be 2 years with no nationals if that's the case.
That's true.
That's pretty scary. I mean, that means you went your whole your Bantam 2 years, your midget 2 years, and didn't even get the chance to play. I mean, that's pretty scary.
Exactly. No, I'm with you.
And think about that. Like Chicago, what do we have? Just with IHOA, I think, what is it, like 34,000 games they schedule? Times.
Oh, no, it's probably in Illinois. There's probably about 50,000 games scheduled.
So 50,000 games with more. 2 officials, maybe 3 or 4 officials. Do the math on how much money everybody is losing, and then you take the rinks into consideration. The bar's not open, no money.
Right.
Pro shop's not making money. Concession stands not making money. The ice rinks aren't really making money either because they can't make it off just practices. I mean, it's just not feasible for them, to be honest with you. I mean, their doors are open, but kids aren't going to want to just go to practice 7 days a week, 6 days a week, whatever they're, however many times they're skating. It's going to get boring for them. They're going to lose interest.
It's very difficult. Me with the mites, our kids, we're hitting it front line. The rinks. The good thing with the rinks is primetime ice is during the week. They sell out Monday through Thursday always. Normally Friday. And where they're getting hurt is on Saturday or Sunday, where they could run a tournament or have a blackout date, or they have their
men's leagues aren't playing. I mean, think about that. That's a money maker. I don't care what anybody says. That is an absolute money maker for those rinks. That is downtime, dead time that they are bringing in a lot of money. Let's take like Johnny's. There's probably like 170 teams playing out. There's some crazy number that keeps them busy all summer, all off season, all the way till 1 o'clock in the morning, almost 7 days a week in 2 rinks. That's a lot of money. It really adds up. And then you got the bar business from that, and the locker room beer and everything else. I mean, it's big business, and they're killing it big time.
Yeah, no, and I mean,
I miss all my notifications coming in. Need refs, games added. Referee down. Somebody's got a cold. Come skate.
Well, Johnny's too. It's funny that you brought that up with the men's league and all that. If you go to Johnny's during the week, like during the day at like noon, there's rat hockey out there, and it's packed. It's
They're
guys
busy.
on their lunch hour.
That's right.
They
come
go
over
down there and they play rat hockey.
There's rentals that start there at like 6 o'clock in the morning. They go from like 6 in the morning to like 1 o'clock in the morning. And you don't see any downtime there unless it's scheduled for ice maintenance. They've always got something going. And if they don't, private rental, skills sessions, whatever the case may be, they are just rocking it in both rinks. And, the one rink's got 2 rinks in it. They've still got a little studio rink in the west location, which is nice. And that's perfect for, a little 3-on-3 game or, even for, the kids. I mean, it's perfect setup. So
no, I agree.
Anyway, there's just a lot going on that's not going on, if you know what I mean. And it's unfortunate. So there's a couple other things that we wanted to talk about today. There were a couple things I saw online, and we want to get to the abuse of officials because there was a major story, I believe, down in Texas where a football referee, and I've actually got the video and everything. We're going to show that to you today in case you haven't seen it. And I'd like to get some comments from you guys. I'd love to hear what you think about this situation and was it handled properly and all that good stuff. So we're going to get to that in a few minutes. There's something else that somebody had online. Said there was a hat trick in a game. I think this was probably like a squirt game would be my guess, or a peewee game. And the score was 6-0. And I guess the coach had a meltdown because somebody threw a hat on the ice because the kid got his hat trick, but they were down 6-0. What's everybody's feeling about that? Kid scored a hat trick. So what? You're getting beat 6-0. It's a hat trick. Maybe it's the first hat trick that kid ever had.
Might be his only hat trick he'll ever have.
That's right. So why shouldn't they be allowed to celebrate that just because you're getting your butt kicked?
I think they should be able to celebrate within reason. I don't want that player skating by the other team's bench and taunting them or something like that.
Absolutely.
I think no matter what, I've been on both sides of that event where we've gotten
me too.
Our brains kicked in, and I've been on the other side where you're kicking the other team's brains in.
Yeah.
I think most players, once you start to really take a commanding lead, they generally understand to calm down a little bit. And I think, on the other side, you see a hat come out on the ice and 6-0. You're going to be upset, but you're also losing 6-0.
We actually we have a comment that just came in now that says, ask the coach if he's upset because he didn't have a hat to throw on the ice.
I like that. I
like that too, Michael. Good job on that one, my friend. I don't disagree. Look, you don't want to get beat as bad. You need to work harder. You need to play harder. You need to get better. You need to put in more effort. That trophy for just showing up, I don't agree with that. It's not the way it works.
I totally agree with you on that. I don't agree with it.
I see we have some new Olympic sports that are coming in. Did you hear about that one too? Breakdancing is now going to be an Olympic sport in 2024 or some crazy number, whatever year it is.
Scott, EGaming. I'm telling you, EGaming will be an Olympic event.
I'm sure it will. Actually, they don't even need to make that an Olympic event because that's got a stadium of its own ready to go, basically. I think we're getting one here in Illinois, if I'm not mistaken. And that's so popular and it's big business. They've got their own. That's going to start to compete down the road with these other NBA, NHL, WBA, whatever you want to throw at it. It's going to be a contender,
Well, you turn on Sunday morning, ESPN, they have the Professional Rocket League.
Yeah.
And Rocket League's a video game my kids play and I play, and it's on ESPN.
So
and they are announcing
for all you guys that are out there watching, we broadcast on Twitch every week as well. So you can watch, and it's a great broadcast. There's a lot of features up there that we can't do on YouTube that we can do on Twitch. So if you wanted to try it, it's twitch.tv/refroom. And if you wanted to try it right now, you could go over there, and if you hit the subscribe button over there, I think we get some cool graphics and stuff that pop up. So there's some, like if you subscribe or you like something, there's some interaction that takes place. It should take place technically on YouTube. I have it set up for that, but a lot of this stuff just doesn't run as well on YouTube, even though we get a great broadcast. So a lot of you guys are watching on Facebook. You're watching in Facebook group. So, we've got a lot of different ways that you can, get to us. So with that being said, should we move on and talk about the elephant in the room, and that is that referee getting clobbered at that football game?
Absolutely. I think you should show the video first, Scott. And then
I'm going to. So let me bring this up. So here we go, everybody.
Texas high school football player now facing assault charges after he tackled a referee during a game last night.
The story is getting national attention. Channel 2's Ari Alexander live in the newsroom with the very latest on this. Ari.
Yeah, I think this is spread on the internet, mainly due to the shocking nature of the blindside hit on the referee. This is in the Rio Grande Valley, the town of Edinburgh. And now the school's district has pulled Edinburgh out of the state playoffs despite their win in last night's game. Here's the incident. The player in question, Edinburgh's star defensive lineman Emmanuel Duron, was ejected from the game after 2 consecutive flags, a roughing the passer, then arguing with that referee. After the ejection, this is where we saw the hit. He retaliated by hitting that referee. 59-year-old Fred Gracia did not return to ref the rest of the game, was checked for concussion-like symptoms. The player, Duron, was escorted out of the game by local police. TASO, the Texas Association of Sports Officials, expressed their concern in a statement, quote, on the evening of December 3rd, 2020, another vicious and deliberate assault was inflicted on a TASO football official by a player who had just been ejected from the contest. Unfortunately, this type of blindsided assault on an official while working on the field is not new to Texas football. TASO goes on to say they've started an investigation into the incident. That investigation will be along with UIL. The player has been charged with assault. In the newsroom, Ari Alexander, KPRC, Channel 2 Sports.
Certainly troubling video to see, Ari. Thank you.
There's a big government scandal going on that you need to know about.
Sorry.
The government is actually stealing money from unsuspecting property.
I don't know what you got. I don't know what kind of propaganda you're watching.
So, it just decides to keep going. But,
well thank you to KPR. What is it?
KPRC in Texas.
We got to give them their props there because we snagged it from them. So
we did. We took it off YouTube, so I knew it was legal because it's on YouTube. So we should be okay.
I know, but still, just in case anybody is watching, right. I don't think anybody is, but
But yeah, I mean, there's too much of this, and I mean, when you see that guy running out on the field, I mean, I'm surprised there wasn't more of a commotion and more of to do. They're like, he was escorted out. I mean, that guy should have been arrested on the spot. They've got police there. I mean, where were the police coming out on the field to take care of that situation and doing their job? Because they are there to protect everybody. I mean, it's bad. But, unfortunately, I say this every week, coaches, you need to step up. You need to teach your players better. I'm sorry. A lot of this falls back on coaches. I know this guy supposedly had a problem. I think he was a soccer player. I think he had another incident before this. So, the guy's kind of on the watch list as it is, I would think. And then to have this happen, I mean, it's unacceptable. I mean, that official, 59 years old, man, he could have gotten his head cracked open, honestly. Like over ejecting some player. I'm sure the player deserved to be ejected.
Well, I'm sure. I'm sure that the player obviously lost his mind, but that is another thing of coaching, and is that a responsible act even as a human being in this world? You're supposed to be playing a sport. I think that falls back on parenting as well. I mean,
absolutely.
I get that some people have some issues and they're just really difficult to get over, but it's tough. So. I don't know. I mean, I don't like the assault. The question I have, Scott, is, as that partner of that official, how do you react at that situation? Like, because, the players were very quick to react. And if you see in the far corner there's a coach that comes running out onto the field from the other team, and the other players come to his aid, as a partner.
Where
what
were
do you
the
do
other
at that
officials? I couldn't agree with you more. You make a great point there. I mean, even if you have an official that's out on the ice and he gets his skate pulled out from underneath him, like slew-footed, or he takes a puck. The first thing you're doing is looking to see, is he going to be able to get up okay? And if he's not, then you know what? I'm shutting play down, and I'm coming to his aid.
No, I agree with you.
That's, again, as much as we are concerned always for the safety of the players and take that into consideration at all times, we have to take our fellow officials into consideration as well. Because, we do have older officials that work games, yours truly. And there are times where we're not getting up. I mean, I got my leg broken on the ice. I got it broken in half. There was no getting up, okay? You got to shut play down. I mean, it is what it is. But, you're always watching and concerned for any of our officials when they do go down. So we had one of the people, now I'll explain this again. Facebook user says wrestler, so I don't know who that is. If you come in through the group in Facebook, which is Ref Room, then if they don't present you with a link to click, we don't know who you are. You don't get your picture up here. Whereas if you come in from my personal page, which is Ref Room, you will see your name. Or if you come in through YouTube, you'll also see your name, your picture, all that good stuff. So just to give you guys a heads up, same thing with Twitch. If you come in from there, we'll be able to see. We got another comment here. Ricky Farron says, crazy to think as the state's 2019 Defensive Player of the Year, he'll probably just end up with a slap on the wrist in the great state of Texas. I would hope he ends up with more than that. I would hope he ends up with an assault charge that sticks and has some repercussions to it. I know they are crazy about their football down there, and, but, they're pretty strict down there. They got a lot of executions in Texas, okay? I don't know about an execution here, but, they don't play around down there, okay? So I'm not sure that, he won't face some serious problems, even if he is a good football player. I don't know if he's, if he's going to a D1 school to start at a Michigan or an Ohio State or a Florida or one of those places that's a football school like that. But, I would hope that whoever was even looking at bringing him in, if he is a scholarship type player, to think twice about having somebody like that on their team and in their program. That's just my feeling.
No, I get you, Scott. I mean, I want to go back to where were the partners? That's my biggest thing. Like, number one is in that situation, if your partner's not spurting blood, because we deal with a slightly different issue than football. We have a much more dangerous position with the blades and sticks, and there can be an eye that's hanging out. If your partner's not spurting blood, the first thing you need to do is diffuse that situation, because I've been on the ice before where an official's been attacked and the other team comes to the aid, and then it gets way worse in that situation. Now your partner's laying on the ground, you're attending to them, and all the players are fighting basically, and the benches come out, and you got to diffuse that and get that player out of that situation. I know it stinks to leave your partner on the ice. And you'll get to them unless they're spurting blood. If they're spurting blood, you better get there and, try to help if you can, if you're not squeamish. I know some people are very squeamish when it comes to major injuries.
Well, hockey would not be the place to be. We see blood all the time. We really do.
Well, I mean, I can tell you a personal story. I was refereeing a Bantam game, and during the game, a kid stepped on another kid's wrist right on the bottom, and it was like this.
Oh, yeah.
Fountain. When he stood up and I took my hand and I grabbed him, I held on to it, and my partner came over with a skate lace and we tourniqueted it. And the EMTs came and they said, "Oh my God, if you guys wouldn't have done that, he probably would have died. This is a really bad wound."
Yeah.
So sometimes,
I think one of our officials this recently, not like in the last couple weeks or anything, but I guess had a player that I don't know if they stepped on him or they got him with the skate, but, similar situation where the player was injured and a lot of blood. So it does happen. I mean, I can tell you, my leg got snapped in half. It was no joke. I mean, it was literally a Z. There's no moving. You're in screaming pain. And you just, it is what it is.
Also, just as an official, if you have a player on the ice or a fellow official, I hope more times than none it's not your fellow official, because you're going to have to work that game possibly by yourself or suspend the game anyways. But, not to put any hex on anybody, but when that player or official's laying on the ice, let's use some common sense. And since they're in that much pain, they're in shock, probably more than likely. Okay. You need to ask the parents around to donate their jackets or get a blanket or something and cover that person up, because if they get cold while they're in shock, it can get way worse for them. So just a little bit of free advice there. That's survival.
Some good advice.
Try to remember we're still there, but we can help out a lot. I mean, getting 5 or 6 jackets from, the moms that are in the rink that can go stand in the warm lobby is not really that big of a deal. And I've been on the ice before where I have had a partner that's been on the ice, and that's what, the parents did. I mean, they came out there and they did it, and I didn't even think about it. So it wasn't me, but I'm just saying, because I've been there, try to take care of the person the best you can.
Yeah. Just keep them comfortable. All you can do is, stay there, give them some support, try to make them feel comfortable until help arrives. And the good news is the help will arrive, and it usually arrives pretty quickly, quicker than you would expect. And they do a great job. So, our first responders are excellent that come into these rinks, and they pretty much know what they're walking into when they get there. They know, they're probably scraping somebody up and peeling them off. And let's see what we got here. We got another Facebook user. Brad, not all people have your presence of mind. It's not a situation that gets practiced. Oh, that's from Karen. We know who that is. Hi, Karen. How are you?
Karen, I agree, but, just if somebody sees it and it helps somebody, it was good advice.
That's where all the years of experience, guys, come in. I mean, for newer officials, you're going to see some things and experience some things along the way in your career, and, you'll learn from them. That's really what it comes down to, because even when it's a situation of making a call or having a situation that develops, those years of experience, you may have seen it, you know how you're supposed to respond to that. And it's the same with an injury. So we've even had, we've had a couple people on the show that have talked about injuries and some things that you can do to make the situation better and, help the player or the official. And, it will help the doctors and nurses when they take care of them as well. So, something to think about. But, again,
Scott, I'm not going to forget that you can take your tooth and put it in your own mouth.
That's right.
Go to the hospital and they can glue it back in.
That's the best place to put it. So if you ever have a player lose a tooth on the ice, have him put it in his mouth. Just keep it in there with the saliva. The other option is you could put it in the milk, but that's not as good. The best way is just to, stick it in there and don't swallow it, okay? So otherwise you're going to have to wait for the strainer a couple days later to get it back.
I don't think that's how it works. I think it just
I don't know if I'd like that, but yeah, exactly. You might want the implant at that point.
Yeah, I think you're getting the implant no matter what.
Right. That's hockey. What can we say? All right. So, that's a couple things that, we're up on the internet this week that we kind of wanted to talk about. We're coming up on the holiday season. So I guess, should we talk about what the ultimate gift is? We've been teasing this for a while.
We'll get to that.
Oh, we're not getting to it yet. Okay. All right.
No. I got one question. You do have a player that assaults an official on the ice, such as in that video. Hopefully it's not that bad. Hopefully it's just kind of an attack, a mild one. What are the penalty options in there, Scott?
Say that again. I was pulling up a comment here. He said, if you can find it. Yeah.
Well, in that situation, that's an assault of the official, correct? So you're going to have a match.
601. So what's your question so we can answer it for you, Brad?
What's the penalty option for that
for
assault there that happened?
For the assault?
Yes.
Well, you've got match penalty.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got 601 depending on the severity of what happened and what went down. But you're gonna refer back to 601. So you're starting with the possibility, depending on what happened, having the minor penalty, the misconduct, the game misconduct, further misconduct, and match penalty.
Right. No, and I'm with you. Like, I think, the easiest way to start talking about that is, if the player, get your hands off me, and they swat your arm off you, you're probably going to give them a minor penalty. That's a reaction, you know.
Depending, it could be a 2 or it could
severity.
be a 10. Could be a 10 also. I mean, depending.
Now, if a guy clearly shoves you, everybody in the building saw it, you're going to get the from the fans, right? Okay, you're probably going to be escorting him someplace. They're interfering with your duties at that point. You're going to probably game them. Mind you, these are all things.
Absolutely.
In that situation,
it could be that could be a match penalty. If he knocks you over, you've got a match penalty there.
Exactly. And in this case, of course, it's a match penalty. But remember, with the match penalty, you have to report it to your district referee in chief within 24 hours. So just so everybody knows that. That's a stipulation in the rule book. So just make sure that you get that reported, because it is a big concern with the coaches and the teams and the referee community and USA Hockey, because it is something that they don't deal with lightly. So just remember that. You got to get in touch with your district referee in chief, on top of also reporting it to your local and USA Hockey.
Right.
So
and keep in mind, guys, even for a major penalty, those need to be reported, because those penalties are tracked and they follow players along their career. So even if you have a 5-minute penalty, you need to report it. So a lot of guys, it's part of the test and part of what you are supposed to know. But that's the case. 5-minute major needs to be reported. All right.
Anything else now go to that teaser.
Well, let me ask you. Let's do one more. We've been talking about like the goalies in the crease and moving the net off, and how to handle those situations, when it's a penalty, when it's not a penalty. So let's throw another one out here, and let's talk about the players in the crease. So when do you blow the whistle for a player in the crease, Brad?
Anytime the offensive team gains possession of the puck.
Right.
That's per USA Hockey.
Right. Now, let's say you have a goal scored while a player is in the crease. What happens? Okay.
The goal is disallowed and the faceoff's taken outside the zone.
Correct.
I feel like I'm on a game show.
So ding, 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 winner. And the survey says. But let's say that player is now down on the ice. That player has been pushed into the crease by the defending team. Mm-hmm. Goal or no goal?
Did the player have ample time to get up and escape? Did they make an attempt to escape? I mean, the other team forced them into the crease, so, technically they're allowed to occupy that space at that point. But if they make no clear attempts in order to vacate that space, you're probably looking at a crease violation at that point. But if they're trying to scramble up and get out, you're within a good area there. It's a judgment call. Yeah. And, we try to err on the side of safety and the side of the game, what's fair.
And do what's right for the game.
The defending team put him there. In those defensive battles, you can, as an official, if you're low, you can start to see those battles, and the guy will be shoving him towards the crease. And, every once in a while when I'm doing an upper-level game or even on some lower-level Bantam games, a lot of that starts to happen in front of the net. Yep. And, it's a good reminder as an official. You can use your voice. Just say, hey, D-man, you shove him in the crease. I'm going to let him – he's going to be there. Just so you know, I'm not going to stop play. And normally they think about it and they go the other way. So they're just battling for possession, and, their coach isn't watching them enough to yell at them. So, you're there. Why don't you yell at them so you don't have to stop play and
talk to players, guys. It doesn't hurt to give them some instruction once in a while. They don't mind it. They appreciate it sometimes. If you give them a little, I'm not saying you're helping them, but, giving them some instructions on some of this stuff as the way it's going to go. It's a great way to build a rapport with these players, and you're a person at that point. You're not just a machine out there making calls. So I think a lot of players do respect that and appreciate it.
I agree. 100%.
All right. So let's go a step further. So now let's say we got a player that's down in the crease. So let's say his head and shoulders are in the crease, not his skates. Do we have a goal or no goal?
He fell down by himself, correct?
Yeah, let's say that.
Okay, fell down by himself. Okay, he's in the crease. He's violating the crease. So USA Hockey, you're gonna try to let him get up, but if the guy hammers one in, You know,
all right.
of course,
So
he's
the
violated
the
crease.
B part, he didn't go in by himself. He's head and shoulders in the crease, and he was he's been placed there. Let's just say.
You mean the guy knocked him down?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then again, judgment call. You're going to have to take everything into effect. Did they try to escape? Did they just get pushed in there as the puck is going in? I mean, it's not 100% black and white ever.
Right.
And it's tough, and it's whatever's right for what you feel is right for the game. The bad part is, you know, during those moments, sometimes you don't have the best view, or you weren't watching the guys in front of the net as well. And you go, oh, damn. And then you think about it. And then there's been times in my career where I've looked at the video later. I've been like, I don't even know if I like that call, but you know what? It's your call. You got to stand by it. And,
you're doing it in a split second,
thinking.
and you don't have the luxury of instant replay. You know, the big time players, the show has the replay. And, I told you I was at a Hawks game one time, and the referee got sick within minutes of the game, and the other official had to step in and work as a 3-man. And it was kind of interesting to watch because they pretty much only go top of circle to top of circle. Never saw a linesman come down until the end of the third period. I finally saw a linesman go cover a goal line. Somebody must have told him after the second period, you might want to go down there. But never made a call on. The only calls he made the entire game were calls that were on his side of the ice. And what I mean by that, if he was on the bench side and there was a penalty on the bench side, he made that call. He didn't make anything on the far side in terms of a call. But, does he need to go any more than top of the circle or hash mark to hash mark? No, because he's got the benefit of going right to the replay to check it out. So he's going to get the call right. He just may not be making it on the ice at the time. So, they'll get it right.
Use the tools that you have at your supply.
Right.
If you're ever at a game with a goal judge and it goes in and out, and you're like, I'm pretty sure that went in, call the goal and then go talk to the goal judge if you really have to. I mean, at that point, you've already pointed it, and you're probably pretty sure that it went in anyway.
Guys, sometimes your partner has a pretty good shot at something that you can't see. He's got a different angle, and we talk about angles all the time. And if your partner is on his toes, which I'm sure he or she is, they may see something that you don't see or see it a little differently, and that's a perfect opportunity to get together and have a quick conversation. But the main thing is to get the call right. At the end of the day, it's all about getting the call right. And, when you work with officials that really hustle and do a great job, usually they're seeing the game just like you are, and everybody's on the same page, and, they can help you, you can help them. That's what we do. And when it's done well with a partner, you can have a partner that doesn't see the puck go out of the rink, and a good partner is already going to get the puck, and since you look confused, he's already gone and lined up where the face-off is supposed to take place, just like that's the way it's supposed to be. and I've seen that with partners before when I've observed games, and I was always impressed by that. I think that's just great. It just shows, you keep things moving, you keep it running smoothly, even if there's a little hiccup there, nobody knows the difference because somebody else saw what they needed to see, and they took care of it. It's a beautiful thing. So, all right. That being said, now let's say we got the same player, and now he's been pushed into the net. The net is still on the mooring, but the player is no longer in the crease. He's in the goal. And now we have a shot that goes in. What do we have there, Brad?
Well, what do you think, Scott? There you go. Push it back at you.
I know what we have.
Well,
we have a player that's not in the crease. We have a good goal.
Well, I think some would beg to differ on you on that one.
He's no longer in the crease, is he? He's in the back of the net. He's not affecting anything at that point.
Yeah, but also remember, player safety.
He hasn't interfered with the goalie. The goalie is
player safety
outside there doing his thing.
You're gonna shut play down there, Scott. You can't hide the net and have a goal get scored. I mean, that's.
I'm pretty sure he's not in the crease, though.
Well, he's not in the crease, but he's definitely not in play either. If you really think about it, so I think there's a little bit of common sense that goes into that.
Probably should have had a shutdown at some point. You think?
It definitely should. When they look like a lobster, you should probably get them out. Okay, so No, you're going to shut that play down. Player safety is also in that there. You don't know why that player's in the net. You don't know if they're caught. You don't know if they have something else going on. And then the next thing you know, a guy takes a clapper and it hits him in the throat, and now they're laying on the ice.
Yeah, well,
so
that would not be pretty.
The play is dead, even though technically they're not in the crease. Back in the late '80s, they used to paint that part yellow inside the net. So
I don't remember that. See, I was a goalie in the '70s. Crease. I don't remember. We used to have a square crease in the United States. Do you remember? We had a square crease.
I know.
And you had the circular or the moon shaped crease in Canada. Mm-hmm. But we had a square crease here in the United States. And
now they have
all changed. Then they painted them blue, and now I don't remember the yellow part being in there because I was out of being a goalie at that point, so I don't remember that.
I was younger when it was like that. It was and it wasn't very long, maybe a couple seasons. But now they have the creases where they cut the corners off. And that's the NHL style crease, the professional crease. And, according to USA Hockey, Scott, I want to ask you, what if it's painted on the ice and it doesn't have those corners, and somebody's standing where that corner should be, according to the USA Hockey rulebook? What are you supposed to do as an official? Are they in the crease at that point, or are they not?
I'm not sure I know what you're talking about, to be honest with you, because I don't know what you're getting at in terms of this crease. I mean, the crease has, the
all right. Let's take it a step further. Okay, you go out onto a rink, and for some godforsaken reason, they forgot to paint creases on the ice. What is the official supposed to do? It's in the rule book.
I think you have to use some. Well, you got me there, but I would say you'd have to use common sense and consider if the guy's backed up on the goalie that you're going to take play out of the area.
So what you're supposed to do?
Oh, here we go. Here we got the answer.
It would be
per casebook. It's a good goal. He is not in the crease, although he had to go through the crease to get there. It would be a tough sell. Oh, I think so we're going back to what I was talking about with the player being in the net.
I learned something.
Yeah, well, that was a situation that we were to be made aware of, I believe, if you know what I'm referring to.
Well, anyways, so
Shaney 308, thank you very, very much for that. So you backed my decision on that he's not in play.
Well,
he's not in the crease. Okay,
but you're supposed to imagine that crease on the ice. Okay, so
well, I would say so. This is a different that response was to what we were talking about before.
Correct.
But I would say if it's not painted, you're still going to protect the goalie in the same situation and not allow the player to back up on him. That you would assume that the crease is in that area. I think that's just good common sense, because even if you go to some of the rinks where you find that the blue line is not really visible, and we do have a few of those where the paint is almost gone, doesn't mean he's not offsides. Okay, you do the best you can. You may have to look at the board that's got the paint on it, and there's no line coming across the ice, or it's so faint you can't see it, but you still know it's the blue line, it's the red line, it's the rink, it's the goal line. That's where some common sense comes into play. And
the reason I bring up the crease, because we have the full crease that has the corners, and the other ones where they're cut off at the edge, right? It depends on what rink you're at, and stuff like that. USA Hockey, you're still supposed to imagine that corner there if it's not painted on the ice. I would really hate to be the guy that goes over and tells the coach that, but per USA Hockey, that's still what you're supposed to do.
Well,
so that's the reason I brought it up.
Just remember this, Brad. Every call makes somebody happy.
Yeah, not always. If you can leave with
every call
at least
makes
one person.
Somebody happy. Okay. Makes one team unhappy, might make another team very happy. Okay.
Well, I know my Christmas present that we're going to talk about here from you in a second. You're going to get me. It's going to make me happy.
Let me put it out there. If you guys would put in the comments for me, what do you think the ultimate gift would be for a hockey player or a referee? And don't say glasses, okay? Because that's not what we're going after here. But put in the comments. I'd love to see what you guys think. Somebody said grow some.
Yeah, well.
Is that for me or for Brad? And usually we're talking in pairs here, right?
Yeah, it is. Hey, I would go on there and answer, but I don't think that's fair.
Right. Anybody get something that they think would be the ultimate gift for a hockey player or referee? Put it in the comments now. Beer. Mark says beer.
Yeah, well,
ding, ding, ding. That's always a good answer, Mark. You can never go wrong with hockey players and beer. That is a good one.
As per the federal law, though, everybody legally participating is over the age of 21.
Right, of course. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And always drink responsibly.
That's right. Don't drink and drive. Drink responsibly.
There you go.
All that good stuff. Anybody else got a comment on that? Anybody else want to throw it out there?
I'm telling you, I would love one of these things. And, the funny part is that you called me up and you're like, I got some video of it. And the same day, I was doing the same thing.
Every time I'm on the air, if it's the phone not ringing, now it's the doorbell ringing. So now the porch pirates are going to get my merchandise. Because I can't
autograph
get up to go get it.
Favorite player, I see.
Yeah, autograph of a favorite player. That might be a nice gift. That would be, that'd be a thoughtful gift for somebody because that's not something maybe you could purchase. That would be very nice. A stocking stuffer. All right. Well, since you guys don't have anything else for us,
and that's a piece of paper that you happen to have.
Right. All right. Well, we thought this might be kind of a nice gift. So are you ready? We're going to roll a little video here for this. And we are not sponsored, by the way. I just thought this was actually a really cool piece, and it might be something. And we'll talk about it after we run the video. So let's go here. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Scott Smokin' Sills from the Ref Room, and I am here with my man, Scott Gaffney. And today we are going to show you the absolute best gift you can get for any hockey player or referee. This is so cool because we all need our skates sharpened all the time, and they're never open when you need them, especially if you're there late night. But he's got the very cool piece, and it's called the Sparks Skate Sharpening Machine. So let's watch this thing in action. All right, so here we go. This is the Sparks machine. Let's get a good shot of that so you can see it. And you can see they've got my skate in there ready to go. And let's fire this thing up and take it away, Scotty.
Yep, all you're gonna do is press play, like a DVR.
You can see the blade is down there working. So we're going to go about 4 passes on this as the recommendation to get a good sharpening. And the beauty of this is it's even pressure. I know a lot of times I get my skate blades done and they just grind them to nothing. So now the lights have changed. As you can see, the color has changed here. I guess that probably means it's all done. So it's telling you that your skate is ready to go. Let's take a look at it. He's going to stone the skate edge. Make sure we don't have any burrs. And I can't wait to see what it looks like. Wow, that's awesome. These are great. I've actually had my skates done twice before with these machines, and I was really impressed. Again, this is the Sparks machine. It's a company out of Boston. And how much are these, Scotty?
About $700.
About $700 roughly. Yep. So really an ultimate gift for anybody that's a hockey player that's going to be skating for a long time, and you gets the leveler, checks it all. Boom. Looks great. Okay, so we have finished my first skate. We're going to put the other one in, and we're going to show you how easy this is to do. So as you can see, we got the green light, which is like the go light, and go ahead and load it up, Scotty.
Then one thing we want to do, open up the machine and make sure that hits it right at like a 45-degree angle coming across.
Perfect. So you can see that. You notice the lights have changed. We got great LED lighting. So now here's the orange lights, which signify we're going to be sharpening. So all it is, he's got a little display right over here, and you'll be able to see like a touch panel, and bam, he's going to hit it. Good to go. It's actually not very noisy. It's dust free. It's clean, making no mess down here in the studio. So the skate remains stationary, and it'll do about 4 passes until it decides that everything is leveled out just the way it should be. How cool is that? And it's like $7 to $10 for each skate sharpening that you get done, and you need them done every couple of weeks at least. So if you're playing for a long period of time or you're skating a lot, this would pay for itself. Not only that, the convenience of not having to run out to a pro shop or finding that they're not even open or having to wait an hour in line to get your skates done, which is pretty common at a lot of these places. All right, again, the Sparks machine. Scott Gaffney, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
My man Scotty right there. Appreciate you coming out. I can't wait to skate on him. All right, well, a special thanks to Scott Gaffney because he has one of those machines, and he was nice enough to actually bring it over. I've been struggling all, season. You nowhere to go to get your skate sharpened, basically, unless you want to drive out to the suburbs and to a pro shop. But, a lot of the rinks haven't had their pro shops even open. So this is a really cool little piece. I mean, they're about $700, and then I think you have to buy like the leveler. They have like a bundle that they offer with the stone and all that. Now, somebody had a comment that they put up here from the Facebook group.
Does it rocker?
Does it rocker as well? To my knowledge, no. You probably would have to go have your skates profiled, and then it's going to follow the contour. But I know that, I've had my skates, my blades go from here to here like in no time because they just grind on them, and you see all the sparks flying when you're in these pro shops, and then you get them back, and they're like, oh, man, all you did was ruin my blades. So something like this is actually a pretty cool piece. And if you had... if you were a referee and you got 2 kids, that's 3 pairs of skates you're getting sharpened on a regular basis. Or, maybe you're a group of 3 or 4 referees that just want to have your own machine for a couple $100 and the convenience. But I was really impressed. I got a really great sharpening off that piece, off that machine. They were really nice. So that's really a cool little toy to have, especially if not having to drive to a pro shop, stand there for an hour to wait in line to get your skates sharpened, or have to go back and pick them up, or, whatever. And again, I think Orbit had one of these machines or something similar to it that did my skates. They were pretty good. That was last season. And I think
Geneva has one.
Yeah, Fifth Third has them. And I think even like Pure Hockey took out, like they used to have a guy back there all the time doing skate sharpening. Well, now they got 2 of those machines back there that are like automated, so the guy doesn't have to really focus on what he's doing, or they could put one of the kids back there doing it because it's fairly simple. It makes like 4 passes now. Scott was telling me like he freshens his skates up like weekly, so if he skates a few games, he turns around and just does 1 pass on the skate. That's about it. And you can do the 5/8, you can do the half, so you can get whatever size wheel you want to have. And here's my friend Frankie is here, of course. So she's got to get in the show here every week. She does this to me all the time. It's a neat piece.
I think the good advantage of it is, when I was playing, I had a hockey family. The dad coached, and there were 3 brothers, and they all played hockey, and they had their own skate sharpener in their basement. The only downfall was their dad had to buy some old rental skates, like 3 or 4 pairs
to practice
that he practiced on in order to learn how to use the thing because he had never done it. He never worked in a pro shop. Yeah. So, the guys that do it well that are at pro shops and stuff, it becomes an art. And that's why they pay the equipment guys so much for the NHL.
It is
because
an
it's an art.
talent to sharpen skates and to get them the way you want them and to get them right and to profile them. And these are all things that are absolutely critical, and a machine cannot do that for you. But if you got your skates profiled and, you know, I mean, even if you were a team on the road, you're going into a strange city, or not strange, but let's say you're going up to Michigan or something, and you're a team, at least now you know you can get your skate sharpened. You don't have to worry, is the pro shop going to be open? Does the guy do a good job? Because I'm nervous as can be. You know, there's pro shops, the minute I go in, I want to know who's going to sharpen the skates. Like, have you done this a lot? Do you know what you're doing? I'm going to question the guy. You know how I am. I got to question him. You know, I did that at Romeoville, and I ended up getting one of the best sharpenings I ever have had. I mean, the guy was like, trust me, we do a really good job. I've done a lot of skates. I know exactly what I'm doing. I've been very well trained, and I've been doing it for a while. Sure enough, I got a great sharpening out of it. But, you know, you're nervous. You got to, you know, you got 3 games in a day. You go in there and you get your skate sharpened in the morning, and you hit the ice and like, oh, great, I don't have an edge, or I got an edge that's constantly catching all day long. And you're going to be on your skates for 4 or 5 hours. That's not really what you want to do, and especially at a high level when you've got to make quick cuts and quick turns and get out of the way. You want to make sure your skates are going to respond when you make that move. So
I think if you can't afford one of those machines, which, you know, I know a lot of people can't put up the 700 up front, you know, find somebody that you like to sharpen your skates, get their schedule, and go to just them. That would be my suggestion.
I've been a big proponent of going to like the same spot to get my skate sharpened, whether, you know, whatever pro shop that was, you pick the pro shop and you kind of pick the person that you want, or 2 people that you know, and they've done your skates. But, you know, again, what you said, it's an art, you know.
It is.
You typically don't end up getting 2 sharpenings the same, even from the same person. So, I'd love to have Scott come back, bring that machine again and sharpen them, and let me see if they're as consistently good.
Hint, hint.
Right, Scott. So if you feel like coming over again, you know, I'd be happy to have you, and then I could give you a further evaluation on the sharpening. But no, it's a cool piece. I mean, that would be a really cool gift for somebody, probably.
Yeah,
I totally agree with you. Yeah. Well, you know, but I could see, honestly, I could see 2 or 3 refs going in on that. I mean, I don't know about you, but I like to get my skate sharpened every week or 2, depending on how much you're skating. But like every couple weeks during the season at least. But I'd like to have them done every week. I mean, I like sharp skates. You know, not like you can't stop on them sharp, but I like to have an edge. So when you do cut and turn, or, you know, you're trying to dig the blade in a little bit, it's there to dig in, because there's nothing worse than being on dull skates out there. You can't go anywhere. It's like pushing and pushing and pushing.
Yep.
But
no, I agree with you. No, I think that was a good little part there, and I agree. They're not sponsored by anybody, but you know, when you find something that you like, I'm with you. I think that's a good thing to push out to people.
I will tell you this.
A lot of people wonder about them.
For everybody that's out there watching, we have started putting links on our videos. They are Amazon affiliate links. So if you do go on to our videos, we do get a very small commission, and it's a way of supporting the channel, because Brad and I actually shell out quite a bit of money each month to do this. There's a lot involved in putting this together, not to even mention the time, but just in the equipment and the software and everything that we use. So, you know, we appreciate if you do support the channel. You know, if you buy a whistle, if you buy it through the channel, there's an Amazon link there. If you click it, you know, we do get a commission off something like that. There is none for the Sparks machine. We didn't even have a link for it because they don't even offer it. I reached out to them and asked, man, they're like, no, we don't do that anymore. Okay, fine, you know, but it's a nice piece. So we're still going to bring it to you, because that's how we are. We just, you know, we love hockey. There's certain things that we like equipment wise. You know, we had Eric Rigo on the show that gave us our beautiful, ugly sweaters, which, by the way, I wore. I got so many comments on that and compliments on that, and put smiles on people's faces. It was just a beautiful thing. But, you know, things like that we really like, that we're passionate about, you know, we just want to bring those to you so you guys know. So if you have something that you've seen that you think is really cool, send it to us. And then, you know, we're getting ready to kind of close it up here. But before we start to wind it down, we want to remind you that we are going to do the Real Hockey Stories of the Men's League as told by you, the referee. And I know you guys have some great stories. So
I only got 2 so far. Need more.
So we do need a few. I mean, we want to at least have 5 or 6 good stories to put together a show with this, and I think it'd be a lot of fun. So please, if you haven't submitted one to Brad, you can send it to refroombrad@gmail.com. That's refroom, REFROOM, Brad, BRAD, @gmail.com. Okay, so we can have a little fun with that. I think it would be a cool little piece to do, and you guys will have a kick. We'll have some fun with it. I'm sure all the people that watch the show will have some comments, and it'll be a good time for everybody. So with that being said, you got anything else before we start to wrap it up here, Brad?
No, I don't have anything. I just want to say how beautiful it is in Chicago right now. I know a lot of people watching are from Chicago, but there's some other people that watch from the East Coast, and I don't know how nice it is there. But, it's like 45 degrees out and sunny in December.
A couple good ones. That's right. We'll take them. 50 degrees and sunny is nice.
Well,
I got my gym shoes on without socks today, so that's how warm it is out. So, it's a lovely thing. You got short sleeves on. I don't know if you do that in your house. I can't do that here. I'm always cold. So, we got a 115-year-old place here we're in, so it's a little cooler. But anyway, that's the deal. So I want to thank you guys for checking us out today. We will be back next week. We do this every Wednesday. We do it at noon Chicago time. And for Brad and I, that's Brad.
Scott, since we're at the end here, and a lot of people do kind of check out the show and go through it, we're toying with the idea of having a special edition, right, Scott? And we're not going to say who, and it has to do with someone's scheduling. And I was thinking maybe we can get a little input from people that watch, what day of the week. I mean, I don't know how flexible that person's schedule is, but what day of the week.
We could do either another weekday, or we're going to keep our Wednesdays. This is going to be something that we've been doing and we're going to continue to do. But we do have a couple, actually, we have 2 people that have committed that want to do the show, but because of a scheduling conflict, they have something at that time. Would you guys be interested in seeing a night show on this? I mean, probably now it would be okay because we're not all out reffing, but as soon as the season would open up, we're not around on a weeknight to go out. We're at hockey. But we could do another weekday, or we could do an evening thing. So, think about that, throw it in the comments if you like, or, send us an email. We'd love to hear from you. And with that being said, we're going to wrap it up. So on behalf of everybody here at the Ref Room, thanks to Scott Gaffney for helping out with the Spark Sharpener, and Brad and myself. Have a great week, everybody. Anything else, Brad, before we go?
No, have a good week, though. I'm glad, the NHL's coming around, so we might have something to watch on TV at least.
Yep. All right, guys. Happy holidays to everybody. On behalf of the Ref Room, we'll see you next week right here at